What happens now that Orpheus has found Riddy? Welcome back. This is Sean's Take on Things. I am your host, Sean Redmond, and today my take is on Kaos, Episode 7, the penultimate episode. This is your spoiler warning. From here on out, I'll assume you've seen the episode or don't care if I spoil it. This is also the fair use announcement. I will use clips from the show as is allowed under the fair use provision of the copyright laws of 1976. Let's get into it. So this episode opens with Caeneus' mother lifting weights, as you would expect an Amazon warrior to do. And there's a knock at the door, and it turns out it is Riddy's mother. And Riddy's mother has a sign that says, "Today is the day." Caeneus' mother prepares herself in a ready-made, we'll say ditch for now, puts a death coin in her mouth and shoots herself in the head. Obviously on her way to the underworld with a coin to cross the river Styx, but I don't know how she's supposed to figure into anything as yet. So Medusa processes Orpheus into the underground. Riddy and Caeneus are also in the office. Orpheus does apologize to Riddy for taking her burial coin, and that he's there to take her back so that she can restart her life and they can restart their life together. Riddy, who believes that she is now destined to solve this nothing problem in the underworld, doesn't want to go back. Not to mention, she now has feelings for Caeneus. Orpheus does not understand why she doesn't want to go back. He says that the gods are on their side, that Dionysus assisted him to get there. Then we get the summons from Hades. He wants to speak to Orpheus. So Orpheus goes for his audience with Lord Hades, and Medusa informs Riddy that she has to go back, that all of the rebels that have amassed against Zeus have been waiting for her, and she absolutely has to do it. Caeneus says that he will stay in the underworld and stop people from going through the frame, and that Riddy needs to go back and tell the living what she has seen, that they need to live for themselves and not live for the gods, and that all the best things are human. So she does decide to go. And Riddy does promise Caeneus that she will visit his mother. I don't know how that would go, but I'm not going to have to. She's bound to turn up here shortly, right? So Orpheus meets with Hades, who congratulates him on being the only living person to ever make it that far. But his final test is that he needs to convince Hades why he should be allowed to take Riddy back. And since Hades says no one ever goes back, no one can ever go back, she can't go back, but you're welcome to stay. And Orpheus agrees. When he comes out of his meeting with Hades, Medusa informs him that he fucked up, that he needed to do better. Persephone goes behind Hades' back and has Medusa bring Orpheus and Riddy to her. Poseidon goes and tells Dionysus that they've been summoned for a family barbecue at Olympus. Poseidon, of course, asks Dionysus to keep the secret about he and Hera. Dionysus agrees. When Poseidon says that he loves Hera, Dionysus asks what that feels like. And Poseidon tries to describe it. Dionysus says, I want to feel that. So they're gathered to have their barbecue and watch Minos kill Glaucus, or the Minotaur. Because if he can defy his prophecy, then Zeus can defy his prophecy. And, so if you remember where we are, we have Minos with the knife that Hera gave him heading to kill Glaucus. In the labyrinth already, we have Ari and Daedalus on their way for Ari to see her brother for the first time in 29 years, 30 years, whatever. So this didn't occur to me till it happened, but if Minos is going to go kill the Minotaur, he has to let the Minotaur out of its cell. So he hits the button, releasing the Minotaur, and then he heads to the labyrinth. So there is the Minotaur comes out, kills Daedalus. Ari is successful in calming him and removing his helmet, and they're sort of sharing a twin moment. When Minos arrives, there is a fight Minos says he has no choice. It is a burden placed on him by the gods. And they fight, and he kills Glaucus. Zeus celebrates. Ari is furious, taking the knife out of her brother's chest, reminds her father that his prophecy was your demise. What is it? Your end begins in the marital bed. The first child to draw breath kills you dead. And that's why they made such a big deal out of all of it. And she reminds her father that Glaucus was born blue. And what that means is he was not breathing. But Ari was born screaming. She was breathing. So she was the first child to draw breath, not Glaucus. And she stabs her father and kills him. On Mount Olympus, Zeus collapses in shock. End of episode. So we have an attempt to defy the fates and being unsuccessful. And that's the tricky thing about prophecies and fates. They tend to be self-fulfilling, which is what everybody had tried to explain to Zeus all along, is that his attempts to stop his prophecy from coming true were making his prophecy come true. And as it turns out, forcing more and more and more and more and more mortals through the frame to harvest their souls was causing the frame to overload, was causing the nothing to overload, and it was causing all the trouble. So one more episode. There we go. Real quick, for those of you who have been paying attention, I hope this doesn't ruin anything for you. Back when Zeus did the lightning bolt onto Poseidon, right? Onto Hades, and Poseidon asked Zeus, why did you strike him with the lightning? To which Zeus replied, he was being a jagoff. Yeah. And when Zeus was watching Minos and he stabbed Glaucus in the chest, killing him, Zeus celebrated by grabbing the towel and spinning it over his head. Because apparently Zeus is from Pittsburgh. Only Pittsburgh uses the term jagoff. And that's a terrible town move. So he's not only from Pittsburgh, he's a football fan. But that's the same thing. I, too, am from Pittsburgh. I do not currently live in the Pittsburgh area, but I am from Pittsburgh. And you can take the boy out of Pittsburgh, but you can't take the Pittsburgh out of the boy. And for those of you who don't know, Jeff Goldblum is from Pittsburgh. So he worked in a little thing there that Zeus is apparently from Pittsburgh as well. So that's a fun little tidbit there. I don't know about Greek law, how Ares going to handle the killing of Minos. I don't know what the laws are, or if she just becomes in charge because he's gone, even though she's the one that killed him, or if there'll be a story. And what's Zeus going to do next? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Hey, give this video a thumbs up. If you made it this far, give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want. It really does help the channel. And any comments you want to make are good comments. Let me hear it. I appreciate it. But for now, that's it for today. I'll see you next time.